We welcome you to the Dominican Republic and the final match day in the group stage of the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. There's still so much to play for. Cibao on the verge of qualification for the winning spot in Group A, taking on Cavalier of Jamaica. A win would see them certainly through. It is 90 degrees and quite humid, chance of rain later tonight here in the Dominican Republic. Mike Watts on hand for the call. This has aptly been called the Group of Death because all three champions in this tournament, from Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Jamaica, all hail to this group. Cibao, with any result better than a 5-goal loss, guarantee their way through. Violette right now is waiting on pins and needles in Haiti. If Cavalier fail to get a win, they are through and continue on to the knockout stage as runners-up in this group. Glad to have you along for the ride for this one. It has been a fantastic tournament to this point, and there is, thankfully, much to play for in the final two matches of the group stage. Later tonight, Waterhouse of Jamaica, the runners-up in the Jamaican Premiership, will take on Atletico Vega of the Dominican Republic. They've already assured their place, knocking out Arcai of Haiti, each side winning their match in what amounts to a bit of a round robin on this Estadio Cibao surface in the opening two match days. What lies ahead here, however, is a young Cavalier side that still very much has a route to get through by just a 1-goal defeat against Violette last time out here at Estadio Cibao. Quite simply, a win will do the job, and all eyes turn to a player who's been noted as injured and yet does start for a side that is dealing with not only COVID issues but injuries as well. Ronaldo Webster scored not once but twice last time out, and if Cavalier is to see themselves through here and into the knockout stage, which gives them at minimum, should they finish fourth, the opportunity to face Bayamon of Puerto Rico in fifth-place playoff as it relates to CONCACAF League qualification. They'll have at least two chances to reach CONCACAF League or win this tournament outright and head directly to Champions League in 2023. Meanwhile, this is a Cibao side that lit a few fuses against Violette in the second game of opening day in this tournament. On their home field, they are the host. Charles Para scoring, bookending Christian Alba's goal shortly out of halftime. Cibao put themselves in position with their +3 goal difference to not have much to worry about coming in to this finale here in the group stage. International CONCACAF Club competition, glorious as it is, Cibao and Cavalier take the field here at Estadio Cibao in the Dominican Republic. We are just minutes away from kickoff of this Flow CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship Group A finale. And the fans that have sought the near side of the bleachers here at Estadio Cibao ready to root on their home side and hopefully see them earn qualification into the next round as the winners of this group and give themselves the best possible chance to reach Champions League in 2023. All right, let's remind you the stakes of this one. Cibao advance with a draw, a win, or a loss by any fewer than 4 goals. Otherwise, you start to get deeper into the tiebreakers. Meanwhile, for Cavalier, it's a side that needs a victory of any form. A loss or a draw, they simply won't have enough points to keep up with the Haitian side, Violette. The Jamaicans taking a standoffish approach to their photos. Here's a look at the lineup for Jorge Alfonso of Cibao. They are starting a 15-year-old goalkeeper, Edwin Frias, Luis Ismael Diaz captains the side, the 31-year-old Dominican international. They've made 4 changes, including the goalkeeper, Leon Torres, Parra, and Florencio. There's Melvin Herrera of Honduras, who will oversee the match here today. Rudolph Speed's lineup for Cavalier. Look at how short that bench is. That's the nature of where they've been. 4 COVID positives, severely inhibiting their lineup choices. Atkinson, Webster, and Ming all coming off of injuries. All 3 have to go from the start. For Cibao, make no mistake, they're in front of their home fans. They would love to put themselves in position to go through as the group winner. A win here for Cavalier could quickly change the arithmetic, and with it, the bracket that lies ahead. What we do know is that the second group later tonight is far from determined. Waterhouse, another Jamaican side, lead on goal difference in that group. A win or a draw for the Jamaicans in the late game tonight against Atletico Vega Real, and they put themselves in position to be winners. So could we set up Dominican and Jamaican derbies in the semifinal? We'll know in about 5 hours' time. The young goalkeeper turns 16 years old tomorrow. What kind of statement does he make at the end of his trip around the sun? '90-degree heat. But the weather's good here in the Dominican Republic. Opening whistle, we are underway, and glad you're with us for the conclusion of the group stage in the 2022 Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. Cavalier needs a win. Cibao needs to not lose by too many. That's all that it takes to see themselves through to the semifinals on Thursday. Cavalier is in white, orange tops, and black shorts for Cibao. Here in Group A, Cibao, the benefit of having played the opening day, they have 4 days rest entering this game. You wouldn't be able to tell that based on the number of changes that they've made. Throw for Cibao. That's lost to the bench. You see just a little more flurry of activity around the Cibao bench. All the way forward, Cavalier getting the first look. Nothing that's Frias all that uncomfortable. Webster gliding forward toward it. And rolled along by Diaz. Well taken by Cibao and floated all the way through. Ushered by, and White will play it at his feet. White puts it in play. He's the lesser experienced. Vito Barclay would be their first choice, typically in the Jamaican League. White himself only 21 years old. Maybe a chance to swing service through with a deflection. Appeals both ways. This will be a corner to Cibao. Carlos Heredia makes his way over. Player with experience in Spain and Poland, but with a few big clubs, including Wolves in England. Ball floated to the back post. Skips up and away from Diaz. And a free kick conceded. Cavalier, an extraordinarily young team, and that is par for the course for this group. They're quick to trumpet that they've brought some of the best young Jamaican talent forward within the Premiership in Jamaica over the years. Most minutes given to players under the age of 21 a couple years ago. And that's held up aptly. And struck from a long way out. They're going to test the 15-year-old, aren't they? That's Pearson. His first year with the club. And already called up into some of the World Cup qualifiers for Jamaica as well. Atkinson is trailing away and now tries to step in. It's a very active Cavaliers side. They're the ones who need the goals after all. Diaz. Spinning through midfield. Leon Torres. Diaz will bring the width off on the left side. Trying to turn through, nothing for Luis. White. Cavalier coming into this tournament. Our head coach is also the chairman of the club, Rudolph Speed. Spoke about the opportunity here to change the perception of Jamaican club soccer at this tournament. We've seen great results from Jamaica on the Gold Cup stage, without doubt. In the upcoming Nations League window, one would think matches in a tournament like this could carry a little bit of weight within the national team as well. The throw coming for Kamani Gibbons. Here's the Cavalier manager, Rudolph Speed. It's a proud club that waited 40 years to get back on top in Jamaica, and boy, have they. From 1981 to 2021. Good ball laced all the way through with the offside flag raised. That's Atkinson. As captain the national team. That'll go over Atkinson and free us. Uncomfortable waiting for that to come all the way. Instead, ultimately lead to a Cibao throw. There's the manager for Cibao. A 3-0 win for Jorge Alfonso's group against Violetti. Arrived in 2020. Significant experience in the first division in Ecuador with a trio of clubs. Speed the kills around the outside and into the penalty area. That's going to get just through the 18. And Torres is running out of real estate, and he's giving it away cheaply in the back line. Cibao have. Now Torres. Torres cleverly bypassing Pearson. And Cibao began to run, but they've given it back once more. This laced it goal. Frias drops down and maintains the 0 early. Look at how quick Kenroy Campbell is. Not afraid to look for his own shot either. 19-year-old in the first maiden voyage in the Jamaican Premiership, his first season playing with the first team. Frias. Now, what's intriguing about this is Cibao does not know that they're through yet. And they have come out looking just a bit flat in the opening 10 minutes. Punched wide, Ming returns. Ming once more. Out toward Gibbons. There's Gibbons. And back by Richard King. King, 5 caps for Jamaica. He's done 4 of those in World Cup qualifying. It did not go the way the Jamaicans were hoping. The introduction of the octagonal. All the way from Atkinson. 10 minutes gone. Cavalier have been far the more impressive side. It take just an error or two to see Cibao grab hold of this match. After all, a draw does nothing for Cavalier. Lang from the back. Turned over. And that's a cheap foul. Just 1 foot wrong, and Heredia will take over. The attacking midfielder from Spain who grew up in Barcelona. Features for the Dominican national team. Prichota stands over the ball. The Argentine awaits. Came through Banfield and Racing Club. That's an impressive apprenticeship. Prichota. Frias. Well, that's good confidence from the goalkeeper, who's featured about 4 years up the chain with the Dominican under-20s. Attempt to step through, and now Cavalier the other way with an injured Cibao player behind the play. He's recovered, and Prichota immediately plays a role. Cibao were lethal in these moments against Violet. Scooped through, floated across, and touched over the end line. Leon Torres powering out of midfield. Ming never wanted to face that service, and Johan Para, who scored the final goal against the Haitian side as a substitute, moves into the starting 11, putting in good work. You see Christian Alba towering in the middle of the penalty area. Short corner in the return, Heredia. Heredia, decent cross, and White leans down. That's not a bad effort at all from Christian Alba. Spent some time with some Guatemalan clubs that find themselves in Concacaf events often enough. Vida and perhaps more importantly, Comunicaciones. Been a regular around Concacaf League and Concacaf Champions League historically. Touch pass away, Ming. Four orange shirts in unison. Trio of options. The service never came, but the foul does. Wonderful job by Prichota. Good intervention by Cavalier. I must say, very pleasing first quarter hour for the Jamaicans. Frias. Diaz was streaking up the line. There's Ismael Diaz. The Cibao side felt they were a bit underestimated by the Haitian champion on opening day in this tournament on Friday. There was an acknowledgement by their own estimation. All 6 teams that qualified for this Flow CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship more than capable of getting a win on a given day. That's all Cavalier needs. Cibao streaking away, ball in tow. Ushered back by Florencio, the center back. He took a bit of the space. Diaz. Foul from Cibao. And Ming immediately puts it in play and puts it over the back line. That's going to go over the crossbar. Well, Cibao's likely a little frustrated here that play was allowed to happen at all. And Dwayne Atkinson never stopped. Raced in behind. That could have been the opener for Cavalier. It's lost by Salcedo. Early ball clipped through, attempt to bring this down at the penalty spot, and Cibao up to that task, and an excellent flick on header. Push that wide. Outstanding from Christian Alba, who's holding that point by his lonesome. And Salcedo. Torres, Diaz. Grabbed by White. White was the featured man back in October. Couple of saves and penalties to help this Cavaliers side to that first title in Jamaica in 40 years. A nice little bounce through. It's going to soar all the way through and stay in play. This teed up, deflects. Still alive for Cavalier. Good rotation. Ming to the end line. Corner Cavalier. Let's see Gonzalez's face. Doesn't care for that. And perhaps the heat of this moment starting to wear in. Midway point of this first half. Corner for Cavalier. Bounces through, attempt to bike that back toward goal, and it's going to swing off target. Ronaldo Webster trying to channel, well, Ronaldo. Campbell with that initial service. Again, it's a bit sloppy from Cibao. Now held up by Alba. There is support from Torres, and the run arriving down both flanks as those fullbacks start to explore, and then you've got the double pivot in midfield. Starting to get a bit more expansive. To thread that through, came up short. And now maybe Cavalier 3 running, including 1 in behind. The referee says instantly there's nothing there. Another intervention from the hulking 6'4" center back, Gonzalez. It's a clean tackle and an excellent ball over the top that's going to wind around. And Frias ultimately has no work to do. Gonzalez did well once more. I get the feeling he and Webster are going to become close confidants in this game. Lang. It's away from Florencio. That was simple from Torres, back by Alba. Torres being pushed into from behind. Ming maintains, but his service is suspect. Thrust forward by Diaz. Torres. And lost to the near touchline with Heredia. Way back by Murray and sent the other way by Lang. Driven ball through. Soars in the air off the Cibao player and over the end line. Corner to come off the foot of Oscar Florencio, who did win this title with Cibao in 2017. They won this Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship and was the first Dominican side to qualify for Concacaf Champions League in its current iteration. Ended up playing Chivas of Guadalajara, the eventual champion in 2018. The service here bounces all the way through dangerously and off the head of Webster. Well, Cibao's actually had two chances at major international glory in CONCACAF. They also reached the 2020 CONCACAF League, although to say that that year had its own asterisk in their ultimate defeat goes without saying. They played that outstanding historic club from Costa Rica, Alajuelense, in November of 2020, but only one leg. In Chivas, they actually held the eventual champion to just 2 goals. That was Matias Almeida's side. And in hindsight, we can look back at all the young talent Chivas had in that group. Ended up losing 5-0 at Estadio Akron in Guadalajara. But it is a Cibao side that can celebrate some major milestones and can return to that level of glory here with a win or a draw or a loss of a certain color. Just can't lose by 5 or more. Begin to run amok with the other tiebreakers. Ming. Came back from Murray. Another service swung through, and trouble blossoming, and Cavalier opens the scoring. In the 29th minute of play, it was mishandled, and Cavalier, by way of Atkinson, can see their way through to a semifinal now. They lead. Hectic, to say the least. Lang's service bounces down. Webster trying to break it free of Frias. And the 15-year-old goalkeeper trying to get there as quick as he could after his mishandle by Gonzalez. Off the field surface. Can only watch as Dwayne Atkinson streaks through and cleans up. The opening goal comes for Cavalier, and the hydration break follows. What a massive goal that is for this young Cavalier side. They've put on the vast majority of the pressure to this point. And you can see the banner in the background. Campeones Cibao in the Dominican Republic, winning the Dominican League. A massive achievement for the club. Founded in 2015, shortly before this current iteration of the Dominican First Division was launched. Atkinson in the 28th. The goal that sees the Dominican champion behind 2/3 of the way through the first half. Good moment between the young players. Atkinson 20, Webster 22. And Atkinson, who's already featured for Jamaica and is really appreciated for his tremendous versatility, and a little bit of shaken head from Gonzalez, the Colombian, who've been so good to this point. Perhaps he thought he had a little more support coming from Frias as he turned and tried to shield off the on-rushing Jamaican player Webster. Not meant to be. Cavalier ahead. This result would see Villette out by way of goal difference. We would see Cibao, the winner of the group, by goal difference over Cavalier, and Cavalier into the runner-up spot. Now, the runner-up in Group A will play the late game on Thursday. The winner of Group A, right now that'd be Cibao, would open the proceedings against the runner-up of Group B in the semifinal on Thursday. So they'd play at the same time of day that this game began. And lest we forget, Cavaliers, the side playing on 2 days rest. They drew the short straw. A group of 3 champions, the Dominican, Haiti, and Jamaica. And the Cavalier staff telling the local media that perhaps Waterhouse had the easier road, that any group with all 3 champions has to be considered the group of death. Well, right now, Cavalier, at this scoreline, would indeed escape the group of death. As the runner-up finisher, the top 2 go through. There's Edwin Frias. Atkinson perhaps taking advantage of his inability to claim a ball that just seemed to hang inside the 18. Frias now. Back in November, he was in that Concacaf under 20 Dominican side. Good ball through midfield and nearly through on the left wing. Perhaps the offside flag would have had something to say. Nonetheless, Torres. From the assembled faithful here at Estadio Cibao. Flag is down for now. And a clever touch by, and the ultimate effort goes well away. Well, Atkinson looking for glory. That's a brutal mistake. Diaz couldn't maintain it. King, Webster. Dale Irving making a new acquaintance. You have to be pleased if you're that man, no doubt. Irving was the only change in the 11 for a Cavalier side with so many injuries. Ball ushered back, and no trouble for Frias. Whoa, massive collision. Diaz up quickly. Thankfully, both players up quickly. Ming as well. Those two captains patrolling the same area of the field. Turned free through Pearson. And now the edge of the 18. That's going to sit up nicely for a curling effort. And Cavalier, 2 goals up now. What a glorious story Cavalier is writing. 37th minute. And Webster can dance on his own. And Cavalier may see a continuation of their time here in the Dominican Republic. That set up so well for Webster. Atkinson was in front of goal. It takes the ricochet. Appears to come off the defender, Florencio. It's horribly unlucky for Cibao. And Cavalier, 2 goals up. They needed a win by any margin. And now in the 38th minute, they've put themselves in phenomenal position. They've scored 4 goals in 2 games in this tournament now. Their 3-2 defeat at the hands of Violet, the reigning Haitian champion. Florencio being announced as indeed the player who nodded that home. It's the own goal. And at this stage for Cibao, one wonders if the concept of damage control has entered their memory. After all, you can't lose by 5 or more. They begin to risk the tiebreakers breaking against them. It would take a 6-goal defeat as you get down the tiebreakers. Without a draw between the two clubs, you don't begin to get into the concept of cards being the difference. The Cavalier is looking for their third. Webster, referee saw play, allows play to continue. Alba tried to hold up play. That's a vicious attempt for the ball. Squarely into the stomach. And good to see Welkin Luis making his way off. He arrived back in July to this Cibao club. Atlantico FC, previous stop. Cibao likely looking forward at this stage to the comfort of their own dressing room. Diaz. Thrust through and all the way back to White. Injured a moment ago. Luis has returned. Sent that too far. Torres recycled. And there's White. This is the banner tournament in the Caribbean and has been for quite some time. The level displayed here, we've seen some really exceptional goals. Also some excellent passages of play as well. Cavaliers put themselves in position now to advance onto the semifinals, which on just one day's rest, likely to be extraordinarily taxing. For Cavalier, you're thinking that could be 3 games in 6 days. Not that they would argue the opportunity. It is, after all, why they came. Put in play by Cibao. And ball knocked back across from an offside position by Alba. Alba in the Dominican League, from what can be told, can't stop scoring. He also scored in this tournament against Violette. The second of a trio of goals in a 3-0 win. It's a race for the ball. It's one the Jamaicans might win, if not for the intervention of Frias, who got to the ball first before taking out the player. Para did well to turn in midfield. Helped to keep the ball. There's Leon Torres. Oh, beautiful run of play. Diaz. Now Cibao is starting to look the part. Really, since the own goal in the 37th minute, these last 7-8 minutes, the best Cibao has put forth, and still they've given this away. And ultimately came out on the touchline. Into first half stoppage time, 2 added minutes. Torres. Gonzalez. Both center backs have faced disappointment in this game, without doubt. Torres. Back to Florencio. Well maintained by Gonzalez. You could say he's really only had one big mistake, Gonzalez, and for Florencio, wrong place, wrong time. And yet still, it's Cavalier 2 goals ahead. That's misplayed off the turf. A touch of irony to the fact that the turf played a role as big as it did on the first goal. Gonzalez only arrived in February, but he should be fairly acclimated. This is, after all, Cibao's home field. Second largest city in the Dominican Republic, Santiago de los Caballeros. Fourth largest city in all of the Caribbean. That's Irving overrun. Shouldn't take much more to take us to halftime. You wonder why Cavalier doesn't have one more go at it, but they've certainly gotten everything they came for in this first half. They get a 2-goal lead. They needed a victory, and they've put themselves in tremendous position to do it. A draw simply would not be enough today, and they've come out and grabbed the opening 2, an own goal in the 38th, and Atkinson scores in the 28th minute. And Cavalier are just 45 minutes from securing their pass as the runners-up in this group. Group A. in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. Halftime in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican side trails. It is Cavalier 2, Cibao 0. Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. This is the final match day of the group stage, and it is of vital importance for Cavalier to get a win. Good news is they came out firing from the outset. That's Christopher Pearson in the opening minutes. It would fly by the 15-year-old goalkeeper Edwin Frias, but he appeared to have the post well covered. That'd be his first save, Kenroy Campbell, from about 20 yards. But here's the crucial error in the 28th minute. Dwayne Atkinson cleans it up. Without doubt, Webster is the target here, and just a bit of struggle there from the center back, Gonzalez. Perhaps he doesn't call adequately enough to Frias to come get it. But the way it skips up off him on the turf, unable to cover back at the goal line. And Atkinson opens the scoring in the 28th minute of play. A massive goal for Cavalier. Skip ahead about 9 minutes, and this would be the second. It's off the head of Oscar Florencio. Good little cutback. And Webster will celebrate assisting the own goal, so to speak. Florencio, it's a perfect header by other circumstances. And at halftime, level on points and level on goal difference, +1 each side in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. And by way of the third tiebreaker right now, Cavalier would be winner of Group A, coming from behind on the last match day And Cibao would be the runners-up at +1 goal difference each and 3 points each. Cavalier would win the group based on their head-to-head goal difference. Right now they lead by 2. Halftime in Santiago, Dominican Republic. It is Cavalier 2, Cibao 0. Welcome back to the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. It is the final match day, and on we go toward the second half of Game 1. Mike Watts returning with you to walk you through where Group A stands right now. If results hold, as in this current 2-0 Cavalier lead over Cibao, were to be maintained or even enhanced, it would be Cavalier through by the third tiebreaker. Initially, it's points, then goal difference, and then you find yourself toward result against head-to-head opponent, which, of course, would favor the side that won here, Cavalier. Most goals scored against the opposition. As it stands right now, Cavalier is +1. Cibao also +1 in goal difference as they trail 2-0. What it would mean as well is Violette would be done, eliminated. If Cibao were to come back and take a point out of this, they could, in fact, tune in to watch the first match next time around and then play in the second as the runner-up. So there is still a way for Violette through, but Cibao right now not holding up their end of the bargain on that front. Teams making their way back onto the field. Cavalier was outstanding in that first half. They were able to break through lines of pressure with direct play down either wing. Occasionally they built up, especially down the right side. You can see Cibao is preparing a change. Harold Charles has taken his jersey, his penny off, and come out prepared to play this second half. Oscar Florencio, you see there, the center back, an own goal in the 37th minute of play. Cibao will try and get this right. They do have 3 days rest coming in, and perhaps it's a bit staggering that they're the side that looked more lethargic in the first half. Cavalier is ready for their moment. Atkinson, you see there, scored in the 28th minute. They needed a win to advance. Right now, they could advance as the group winner. Can White hold the 0? See this over the line. Well, there's going to be a duo of changes. Japa will come in as well. Harold Charles already out there. And Juan David Diaz can enter as well. So significant changes to this Cibao side entering the second half of play, and we'll see whether or not that is enough to help carry them through as the group winner. They'll need a goal if they're to do that. Right now they trail 2-0. On to the second half here in the Dominican Republic. More fans making their way toward the far end of the stadium for this second half. Carlos Heredia comes off, the 23-year-old who spent some time in the Barcelona Academy very early in his career. Alba comes off. And you see Eric Japa has come on. Alba scored last time out and had a couple vital steered headers as the lone target man up front. Charles lays this over. Cavalier attempts to run. You see this broken up. Campbell. It's going to be a foul. Not really sure how much the player knew about that. Giovanni Lang shown yellow. Yeah, he was trying to get the ball. He got none of the ball. Got all of Joppa, the incoming striker. Got a decent goal-scoring record coming in from Atletico Pantoja. It's going to sit in the air for a moment. And now Cavalier will come in and take it away. Over the top, handled by White. Maybe a little extra shove after the fact. There's Diaz. He also came in from Atletico Pantoja, one of 3 signings in January from that club. And the Dominican that's made waves of their own. This is the Cibao side that lost their undefeated record right before they arrived here. But in the Dominican, they've been truly outstanding. That was their first loss in a regular season match in 27. And Ming going down is of grave concern for a very short-staffed Cavalier team right now. And perhaps more concerningly, Ming has just taken the captain's armband off. Makes you think maybe there's a little more to this. And his number shoots right onto the board. Mario Smith is the incoming player, the 20-year-old, beg your pardon, 18-year-old defender from Jamaica. It's the first window for Cavalier. Good run through traffic. And a cutback ball, a second effort from the ground to try and play that again. Came up short. Of note, there are only 3 field players available to Cavaliers, so the idea of sub windows is kind of meaningless to them, isn't it? Got the goalkeeper listed as Richard Henry. And Smith, Ainsworth, and Calvin as well. Henry, typically a center back. That's the nature of Cavaliers' current COVID outbreak combined with a rash of injuries. All the way to the end line and ushered out. Ming was dealing with an injury coming in. Atkinson and Webster can say the same, rather. Thumbs up from Yohan Para. That's an academy product. Had to move into the professional team in 2020. Got a chance to play against that Costa Rican powerhouse, Alajuelense, in Concacaf League. Salcedo. Oh, good ball threaded in. It's going to ricochet free. The Cibao supporters looking. Oh, it's brilliant. It's a curler to the back post. Can you hit that any sweeter? Juan David Diaz. The supporters looked for a handball. They must not look any further for a goal. In the 52nd minute, it is a magical strike. And as the supporters were still arguing for a handball off that initial ricochet, Diaz took matters into his own hands. Four goals in the league. But this is magic. Diaz in the 51st. Cibao now would lead Group A. Cavalier would be the runner-up. Violette remains out. One more goal for Cibao. Suddenly, Cavalier is on the outside looking in as it pertains to Thursday's semifinals. A free kick to Cavalier. Won by Lang. He just knew Cibao would find themselves to an extent. We've talked about not only reaching the final and having an opportunity at that Cibao, but also to seek a measure of continuity on the bigger international stages in Concacaf. Caught by Frias. The winner of this tournament goes directly to Champions League in 2023. The losing finalist and the third place winner on Sunday's final match day in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. Third place team goes directly to Concacaf League along with the losing finalist. The fourth place finisher, just by getting out of the group, guarantee yourself a shot against Bayamon of Puerto Rico. Performed so well for the Concacaf Caribbean Club Shield. Through space. 5 orange shirts at or beyond the final third. The 6th that entered into the fray. Maintained by Cibao. All 10 field players in the attacking half now. Trying to put the screws to Cavalier. Charles. Rang off of Irving. Now Cibao starting to play with just a little more intensity and effort. And Cibao begins again from the back. Florencio got room out wide. Salcedo. Crowd here applauds the effort of Para. Well, it's a danger moment. Cavalier needs to see out another 33 minutes. And Cibao has really taken the aggressor's approach in this second half. Pichola couldn't bring it down. But now Cibao firing on all cylinders, although that's sent out to touch. Look at their willingness to press now. All of a sudden, when it felt like something was being taken from them, as in winning the group, they've found another gear. Gibbons to throw. Think for a moment what it means to win this group. It comes with pros and cons. In theory, you face the second best team on Thursday from Group B, and there is value to that. In such a short span of time, it can be difficult to say which team is best, but the best way we can decide it is the format we have. Everybody's played everybody in their group. And whether you were the best on the day or up to your own standard, as a foul comes, and there's going to be a card as well. Diaz into the book. Somewhat irrelevant. But let's say this, the time that you play on Thursday, given the short span of games in this tournament, can carry some pretty big weight. The runner-up from Group A actually plays the Group B champion in the late game on Thursday. How does a club value 3 additional hours of rest in such a short span? Who knows? Giancarlos Lopez enters, scored 2 goals against Vega Real in the Dominican final to help win the title in 2021. 36 caps for the Dominican Republic. Enters with a chance here in the final half hour to leave a real stamp on this game. Fourth change, first window. 3 at halftime, did Cibao. That's going to curl wide and away. Goalkeeper's going to let this out. Immediately the referee calling Florencio and Webster, both grabbing at their heads. And this is precisely why referees are instructed to stop the game. Good officiating from the Honduran referee, Melvin Herrera. The ability to have a 6th concussion substitute for Cavalier is irrelevant. They don't have that many players on their bench due to the 4 COVID positives among their ranks and the injuries that also plague. But there is no player that Rudolph Speed would likely rather have on the field, especially in the absence of Kyle Ming, who came off injured previously, than Ronaldo Webster. Well, play continues. It's going to soar upward, and Cibao having a bit of trouble into their own penalty area. Lang. And now scooped ahead. Room to swing service through. It's going to fall at the top of the 6. Cavalier back in front. They're back top of the group. Dwayne Atkinson a double. And a brace for the ages for Cavalier. What a moment. The defending again, lackadaisical. Where is Gonzalez looking as this comes through? He's caught flat-footed. And Atkinson delivers to tremendous effect, his second of the game. '28th and 63rd, the goals from Dwayne Atkinson. And now Cibao would be the runner-up in the group. Cavalier would be the winner. And for Violette, the side from Haiti on 3 points and watching this game with great, great interest. They need Cavalier to drop points today to have a chance, and that chance is becoming more and more grim. Cibao pushing into the final third. Salcedo. Wrong-sided the player. Cibao into possession. They won this tournament in 2017. No team has scored more in the Dominican League than they have. And now they have a set piece from 35 yards. Lang. Shown a yellow. He was on a yellow. And Lang, who said he got the ball, and he may have come close to it. But Japa knocked down. The referee went to his yellow card instantly and to the back pocket. Second yellow card, Lang is sent off. And things just got real interesting. Goodness me. Cavalier down to 10 men. A 2-goal win sees them winners of the group. But make no mistake, this can all happen in a hurry. This will be struck from distance. Ball's knocked down. Cibao pulls another back. It's the center back, Gonzalez. The spilled free kick allows Gonzalez to hammer home the rebound. Cibao back atop the group, and in the 68th minute, they have all kinds of time to equalize or even win it. Harold Charles from distance. White got the first, but not the second. Two. Launched over the top, sits up on the field turf. And pushed away by Gonzalez. Cavalier trying to be the 5th team to reach Champions League. They could do it by winning this tournament. They've won just one of their previous 6 matches, all competitions. And they are clinging to a 1-goal lead, clinging to a spot in the semifinal. And Violette right now is Cibao's biggest supporter. Change for Cibao. This is their 5th. Pichota comes off. Maybe a chance. White touches it aside. As Montes de Oca enters, the pressure continues from Cibao. Came quickly. Charles, that lengthy ball over the top, and the header steered at White. And another chance won, this time a set piece for Cibao. He's taking it quickly. Charles. Flipped in. Out of the way, another corner. Oh, this could unravel quickly. Ball's in play. Whipped over the top. How about another corner? Or will it get out for a throw? Angled toward the corner flag. David Diaz inching over. It's another short set piece and a good return. We're getting to for dear life defending now for Cavalier. Floated again, this time over the crossbar. Now's an attempt to catch White off his line by Charles. Cibao opened perfectly to close out the first night here in their home venue in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. A 3-0 win over Villette of Haiti. Their fellow countrymen defeated Arcai 2-1 on the day, Vega Real. Villette with a win over Cavalier on day 2 meant Cavalier needed a win to advance. And right now they're clinging to a lead. This will open up for Cibao, and the ball chipped away. This will deflect back off Montes de Oca into a grateful White. This is becoming extraordinarily dangerous for Cavalier. Another corner. Harold Charles Jr. arrives. A regular within the Haitian national team. Charles will swing this in. First ball's away. Kept up by Montes de Oca. And served dangerously in front. Oh my! It's 3-3 all the way back. Eric Chapa. The 74th minute, it's glory for Cibao. For Violette, it's new life. For Cavalier, it is stunned disbelief. In tournaments like this, it takes so little to change the fortunes of so many. And Cibao showing their teeth. Expert ball in behind, only one defender behind that line for Cavalier. And Eric Japa has pulled it level. And for Cavalier, this cooling break could not come at a better time. What a turnaround by Cibao, trailing 2-0 at halftime. They get one back, Cavalier answers, but then it all unravels. The red card to Giovanni Lang, his second yellow of the game. And now Cavalier have ceded a 2-goal advantage, not once but twice. Another look at that perfect ball into side netting. You can see the fans celebrating. And Juan David Diaz scores 51 minutes in, and now he's assisted Eric Japa in the 73rd minute. And the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship on the final day of the group stage has massive changes potentially still in store, much less already. These final 15. Referee had a long look at that. Play continues. And swung across off the post. The cutback, the shot, and the deflection out of play. For Cavalier, a win would still see them through as the runner-up if they can just get it to 4-3. That's their first even decent attacking moment in the last 20 minutes. And what a lash that was. Pearson, the final effort. Did that arm stick out? From Gonzalez, it didn't. And a corner for Cavalier. That's Pearson, the pride of Kingston College. Pearson. Turned over but recovered by the 10-man Cavalier side. And caught by Frias. When Frias took the gloves for this game, he likely didn't realize quite the implication. Miguel Lloyd typically captains the side, the 39-year-old. But Frias, who turns 16 in about 5.5 hours, 15 years old, and a little bit hobbled right now behind the play, has become the starring attraction here. This is three teams' fate hanging in the balance. When you create a schedule, you hope that it ends like this. A goal for Cavalier would see Violette out. This current scoreline, Violet in, Cavalier out. 2 goals for Cavalier from here. Cibao could find themselves the runners-up, but Cibao's looking for an outright winner. Every goal right now, such massive implications. How clever was that from Atkinson? Brought down by Salcedo. Over the back line. Plenty of contact. Not much in that foul, but a foul nonetheless. A push into Kenroy Campbell by Para. Para, a regular off the bench, traditionally for Cibao in the league, spark plug kind of player, has gone from the start here today and will go the distance today. Cibao has not led. Salcedo. Para. Para dances by one. Para recovers. Salcedo. Head swiveling. Diaz. Rolled along by Lopez. And clipped forward in behind. And hooked wide. Adrian Salcedo, what a brilliant little run. He held just long enough, and Charles clipped it over the top to him. White was beat, make no mistake. The Jamaicans are crumbling. They need a winner here in the next 10 minutes. Well, their time in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship is over. A moment ago, you saw Atkinson giving the universal sign for a substitute. And Delmaro Calvin comes in, the 18-year-old. 2 goals for Atkinson. You could say he did his part. This is likely the second and penultimate sub for Cavalier. They only have 4 players on their bench, one of whom is a makeshift goalkeeper. That's their second window. In behind for Para. Attempt to flick that through, the rusher coming from that right flank. 3-3 now. Atkinson, 29th and 63rd minute. Florencio, the own goal from Cibao in the 37th. 3 second-half goals. Diaz, Gonzalez. And in the 74th minute, an equalizer from Eric Joppa. Three, 82nd minute. The pirouette in space, the ball over the top for Para. The first header is away and a push in the back. And a little bit more than that, Montes de Oca gets pushed to ground. The referee telling King no more. He pulls that ball back, and that's enough for King, who slipped on the captain's armband after the injury to Kyle Ming. To toss him down. Well, for Cavalier, no time like the present. Down to 10 here. ultimately do take the ball away. And Campbell pushes it central. Over the top, ball drops down, awkwardly dealt with, and still now for the Jamaicans. They have support on either wing. They decide to go for goal, and this will ricochet off the head of the defender Gonzalez and out. That was Pearson from distance. Corner, Cavalier, 7 minutes in stoppage for them to find a winner. Cibao faithful providing a good soundtrack. The corner for Cavalier. Well out from Gibbons. What a story this group has been. This inexperienced Cavaliers side. Some of these players have never even flown out of the country in Jamaica. Coming to Estadio Cibao in the finale in Group A. At halftime, they were poised to win the group at 2-0 up. 10 minutes ago, they're still poised to advance, but down a man, and now they'd be on the outside looking in, third place on just 1 point. Violette of Haiti could still find their way through. If so, they'd be the only Haitian representative in the semifinal, Arkai already eliminated. The finale in Group B, Waterhouse and Vega Real will decide the winner of that group. Waterhouse holds the advantage on goal difference going into the game. Ball driven forward and steered back into the Cibao attacking final third. That's Para. Para early, and a skimming header sends it to Cavalier at the top of the area. Montes Dioca stifling that progress. Charles. Corner Cibao. The frustration beginning to bubble up for Cavalier. Two goal leads, both dissipating, 2-0 and 3-1. For Cibao at this stage, sure you'd like to win, but it's not going to change where the final's going to be held. And this scoreline would see Cavalier out. And you well handled Violette 3-0 in the opener. Ball for Para. Speared away. The defender getting forward. Gonzalez. What an attempt. Flashy as ever, but also perhaps not in the best interest at this stage. In theory, this is it for Cavalier. Third and final substitution window. Christopher Ainsworth. He replaces Webster, who came in with an injury. He did score 2 goals against Violette. It's the reason why at this stage, 1 goal could still see Cavalier through. Hit with malaise. Cavalier pushing into the 18. Could they somehow pull another back? They've won a corner to try. It's Ainsworth making a quick contribution coming off the bench. Pearson is going to inch forward to take this. Pearson, header down, appeal both ways. It's a goal kick. Well, you can say with assured confidence, Cibao will be in the semifinal on Thursday. Which one remains to be seen. Right now it'd be as the Group A winner. Violette would join them as the runner-up. Cavalier, 1 goal. They could pull back into the second position. 2 goals. They could knock Cibao into second place themselves, win the group. Salcedo all the way through, dangerously enough, and that's going to be a corner. That's Joppa making another run. And Salcedo's service has been so much more deadly in this second half, hasn't it? Not a very good job clearing that in the first place by Richard King. Short corner. Salcedo. Will be the 90th minute or later. It's got to come soon. There's room out here to run onto this ball, and Cavalier watches that dissipate. Loss of footing on the turf. Cavalier in the first 30 minutes especially created so many chances. 3 added minutes for them to salvage their tournament. Montes de Oca. Charles calmly. At this stage, it looks like Cavalier so worn. They played just 2 days ago. They win the throw, and they can hardly race forward. They need a goal still. Ball brought down, Expert over the end line. Calvin plays it back. Cavaliers been playing with 10 now, almost 20 minutes. This 3-3 scoreline wouldn't be enough for them. Trying to create one last decent chance. Offside for Parra. And it's got to start now. Final minute. This is where you find out all the hours that you put in come down to sheer will and determination to get one final chance. That's caught by the 15-year-old goalkeeper, Frias. That's likely the last time someone will get to call him a 15-year-old. Cavalier still looking for a goal. Now they'll angle toward the corner flag. Bouncing down. A clearance with nobody there. It's a matter of seconds now. And that is the full-time whistle. And Cavalier can't believe it. They're out. Violet is through. And Cibao win Group A. Considered the group of death in this Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. They get a draw on the final match day to pull clear of the other two sides. And the side defending their home field, Cibao, do advance in spectacular fashion. 3-3 the final. Cavalier, multiple chances. There was a brief time today where they led the group. And simply no gas left in the tank by the time it was all said and done. Cibao on 4 points, top of Group A, and the Dominican champion will continue. While for Cavalier, the reigning champion in Jamaica, can't quite believe it. The deck was stacked against them from the beginning, COVID positives and injuries. But they led 2-0 at the half, and they led 3-1 in the second half. And ultimately can't see it out. Cavalier out of the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship on the last day in heartbreaking fashion. And Cibao, winner of Group A. We'll wait to see who the runner-up in Group B is. They will open play with the first semifinal on Thursday. The Cibao faithful applaud their home side. They'd run commercials here in the Dominican Republic to entice fans to come, and nothing more enticing than winning the group. Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship, final match day in the group stage, as it was Cavalier of Jamaica in need of a victory, taking on Cibao, the home side at Estadio Cibao in the Dominican Republic. Even a loss would have been enough for Cibao. You wouldn't blame them if they came out just a little bit haggard, a little bit tired. The opening opportunities all favored the side from Jamaica. Kenroy Campbell, the more recent of the opportunities. This is where things started to turn. You thought maybe Cavalier was going to see their way through the day. Dwayne Atkinson finishes after the foible in the back by Gonzalez, the Colombian center back. 1-0 to the Jamaicans. Cavalier the advantage. Weird skip off the ground. Frias came out. He got a piece of the ball, but he didn't claim it. 1-0. Cavalier would double their money in this first half. Good run by Webster down the right-hand side. He pumps the brakes. It's off the head of Oscar Florencio. And both center backs struggling in this first half. That's an own goal in the 37th minute. And suddenly Cavalier, not only would they be through to the semifinal, they do it as the group winner by way of tiebreaker over Cibao. On to the second half of play, and what a wild second half it was. There was an appeal from some of the fans for handball. Alas, no need. Diaz, phenomenal goal in the 52nd minute of play. That gets it to 2-1, and you think suddenly, game on if you're Cibao. You can win the group outright with a draw. And they put themselves in position, 2-1 down, to come back. But just moments later, Cibao, the opportunity to pull level goes haywire. That was Diaz, part 2. And Cavalier would have their moment in the sun. Another poor clearance. Gonzalez couldn't do anything with this. Campbell's service ultimately falls so delicately for Atkinson to get his second. 3-1 up. 63rd minute, and you think surely half an hour to go, Cavalier can see their way through and into the semifinal. The celebration was on. The celebration was short-lived. Moments later, a second yellow card coming out to Giovanni Lang in the 67th minute. He drops to his knees, recognizing that's 2. The ensuing free kick hammered home by Gonzalez, who finally gets to share in the roses on this day. After the free kick from Charles was denied by White, it's 3-2. But down a man, all the momentum going Cibao's way. All Cibao needed was an equalizer to make Violette's dreams come true and to crush the dreams of Cavalier, and they found it in the 74th minute. Eric Joppa racing through, right-footed sliding finish to get it by White. You'd think almost impossible to beat him from that near post, and yet he does. Flicks it into side netting. And Cibao, from 2 goals down, not once but twice, get a draw and win Group A in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. On to the semifinal on Thursday against the Group B runner-up to be determined. So that's just game 1 of what is a glorious day. Both games still have so much left to play for. The Group B title will be decided in our late game between Waterhouse and the home-standing Vega Real. That's set to begin in about an hour's time. In the interim, Group A is now complete. Violette on 3 points finished second. The first-place finisher on 4 points. With a draw today is Cibao. Cibao will play game 1 on Thursday in the semifinal, and game 2 will feature the runner-up of this group, Violette, against the winner of the Vega and Waterhouse conundrum in Group B. It finishes in staggering fashion, 3 goals apiece, as at Estadio Cibao, a thriller in the Flow Concacaf Caribbean Club Championship. In the finale of Group A, it is Cibao 3, Cavalier 3. For now, for our entire team at home and abroad, Mike Watts, so long.